Hey everybody! So glad to see you here for another week of Facts About for Black History Month. We 3 weeks in. How have y'all been doing? How have you been enjoying your Black History Month? Have you done anything Black in your community? Have you done anything Black oriented on your social media? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to let me know that you're enjoying the content that I'm making. Of course, we gotta get into the Target t-shirt. So the designer's name is Blue, and on the back of the tag it says, "My name is Blue. I'm a graphic designer based out of North Carolina. I believe in the power of being your authentic self, and my goal is to design with that same sentiment." So yes, child, I love the shirt with the afro and the pick. Yes, all of that. So this week on Facts About, we're gonna be talking about the writer of Lift Every Voice and Sing, or what we know as the Black National Anthem. So without further ado, Miss Mamas, let's get into the video. So, as was stated, we are talking about the writer of Lift Every Voice and Sing. And I chose this person because they are from the city that I live in, Jacksonville, Florida. His name is James Weldon Johnson, and he was born on June 17th, 1871. James Weldon Johnson had a fairly middle-class upbringing, which was not common. He was the child of Jamaican immigrants. His father was a head waiter at the largest resort in Jacksonville. His mother was an English and music teacher at Stanton Elementary School, which was a school for Black students. He didn't go to secondary school in Florida because segregation, but he did go on to Atlanta University, which is now known as Clark Atlanta University. Shout out to all of my HBCU goers. Johnson would graduate from Atlanta University in 1894 with a bachelor's degree in education. He would return to Jacksonville and become a teacher at Stanton Elementary School. He would go from teaching to administration, becoming the school's principal. While he was still teaching at Stanton University, though, he would go on to pursue a law degree. And in 1898, he would become the first Black man since Reconstruction to be admitted into the Florida bar. Before I forget, in 1895, James Weldon Johnson founded the Daily American. It was the first Black-oriented daily newspaper in the United States. At this point, Johnson has flexed on everybody. He said, "I got a law degree over here, and I got a degree in education over here, and now I'm about to write for y'all real quick and give y'all a little 1-2. In the year 1900, he writes a poem called Lift Every Voice and Sing. Now, ironically, the motivation behind this poem was the celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And I was like, girl, y'all could have kept it. But we thank you for it anyway. The body of work went from poem to song because Johnson's brother, Rosamond, composed a piece of music for it. And it would eventually become a song that the students at Stanton Elementary would sing. The song would be adopted as the Black National Anthem by the NAACP. Due to the rampant racism in the South, Johnson and his brother would move to New York City in 1901 in pursuit of writing music for Broadway. And over a span of 5 years, they would write about 200 songs for Broadway. And never did they write a song for a minstrel show production, as they shouldn't. Now, it did say in my research that they did write a couple of simplified songs to appease the white masses, but you know, you gotta make money, child, so you gotta do something sometimes. You gotta have a little bit of compromise. But yeah, I'm glad they stuck to their creative integrity and didn't write those songs for those minstrel shows, because white people stay playing on our face, so I love to see it for them. So we've established that James Weldon Johnson is a multi-hyphenate. He's an educator, lawyer, and writer. Now we begin to get into the political part of his life. He would attend Columbia University while still living in New York, studying creative literature for 3 years. He would also become an active member of the Republican Party. He would even become the treasurer of the New York Colored Republican Club in 1904. He would also work for the Theodore Roosevelt presidential campaign. Of course, this campaign was successful, and he wrote 2 songs for this campaign. This would eventually lead him to becoming a diplomat for the Roosevelt administration with the help of Booker T. Washington. He would be a consul for Venezuela and then eventually Nicaragua. In 1912, Johnson would write a book called The Autobiography of an Ex-Colored Man. Now, the book was originally published anonymously, but it would go on to be republished 10 years later with his name on it, garnering him further attention, making him one of the leading members of the Harlem Renaissance. The book was criticized as just another story about a tragic mulatto. Now, the reason that was because the book was about a mixed race man that was white passing, and in his childhood, he aspired to identify more with his black side. But as time goes on and he grows up, due to societal pressures, he would eventually just default to the easy route of just being a successful white businessman. In 1917, Johnson would become a field secretary for the NAACP. He quickly rose in the ranks, fighting and organizing relentlessly against lynchings in the United States South. He would campaign for a federal anti-lynching bill and would speak at the National Conference on Lynching in 1919. In 1920, Johnson became the executive secretary of the NAACP, a position that he would hold for 10 years. He would further his work in fighting against segregation and voter disenfranchisement in the United States South. He would eventually resign and go on to become a professor at Fisk University teaching creative writing. Sadly, on June 28th, 1938, Johnson would lose his life in a car accident at the age of 67. I enjoyed so much learning about James Weldon Johnson because we have only recently started to really acknowledge the Black National Anthem on a national scale by having it sung at, major sporting events and different things of that nature. And I think it's just, indicative of to the differences that Black people have in this country and our experience. So I enjoyed learning about him. The fact that he was from Jacksonville is only like the cherry on top of everything else that he did. And it only goes to show that not all bad things come out of Florida. But I hope I was able to teach you all something today. And I hope you come back next week for the last installment of this year's Facts About videos for Black History Month. At the end of all of my videos, like I always like to say, thank you so much for watching, because it could have been anywhere else on the internet, but you decided to watch me. Bye!